Yeah.
We're rolling. So I'm doing a different intro. Usually I give it the hello,
Yeah.
but actually Ben sent me this earlier.
Okay.
I'm going to read it out because it was pretty astonishing.
Okay.
Since 1st of September, Compton have been in full #deal season mode, and the numbers speak for themselves. Across the various Compton service lines, we've completed 36 deals totaling 134,332 square foot. That's an average of 3,732 square foot per deal and almost 3,000 square foot a day, including weekends. Since the start of September, our largest transaction so far is 21,000 square foot, with several major deals under offer that should push that average up considerably. To put it into perspective, one deal roughly every 30 hours, almost 21,000 square foot a week, and on track for around 100 deals and 450,000 square foot by year end if this momentum continues. Oh my word.
It's quite the intro. Thank
I
you.
mean, like you said, it sort of speaks for itself. Like I mentioned before we started recording, I'm not too knowledgeable.
Yep.
But clearly you're doing something right.
Thank you very much.
Is that you or is your team? Who do you thank for that?
I think we've got to thank everyone in the team. Everything we do is it's a collective effort. Okay, so there's 30 people in our building, and yeah, there's no single person or couple of people that are responsible for everything. To do that amount of business in that amount of time takes a collective effort.
Yeah.
And we work incredibly hard at it to try and hit those sort of numbers.
So, tell the viewers who you are, what you do, how you got
Sure.
to where you are.
So we'll start right at the beginning. So Elliott Stern, one of the co-founders of Compton. So if we go back to, I sort of start at school, briefly touch on school. I was that sort of guy at school that was middle of the road in class, wasn't particularly interested in things like maths and science and geography and history.
JFS?
No, Emmanuel College.
Emmanuel, okay.
Yeah. Which is probably the wrong school for me. But anyway, that's for another day. Football, I was obsessed with, loved being outside. So when I had something that I was interested in, I would take the ball by the horns and I'd go and apply myself in the best way possible. But we sort of got to the end of school, 16, 17. I did a year at college. Again, I just wasn't interested in it. So I think I was sort of going to college to buy myself a bit of time. I was always interested in working. Like there was something about going to work where I could control my own destiny that really turned me on. And I actually started working for my dad, who's an optician. And he had a wholesale business where he would sell glasses to other opticians and what have you. I was working in that part of the business. Didn't work out. Me and my dad working together was a disaster.
A lot of arguments.
It just wasn't my idea of like going to work. And again, like controlling my own destiny, I was like working for my dad. It just wasn't the right thing for me. And then a role came up at where I got my first job at Richard Susskind and Company. So Sean Simons, who's now my business partner, he's also my stepbrother, was my stepbrother. He called me and he said, look, there's a role come up at Richard Susskind and Company, a junior role. These sort of roles don't exist now. I mean, you'll remember these sort of junior roles. I mean, if we had them now, it would be like slave labor. Okay. It was my job so I went for this interview and I got the job, but my job was to make teas and coffees, to do printing, to get keys cut, to go and do a fourth viewing with a fit out company. It was basically to do all the crap that people just weren't interested in doing. I was 17 years old at the time. I went for the interview and I was working in a retail and leisure team, which was sort of a subsidiary side of this business. Richard Susskind and Company were very focused on offices in the city fringe, and they had a retail and leisure division, which was run by a guy called David Tubian. And I was there to sort of work under him. I've got huge amounts of respect for him. He's still sort of a friend of mine today, and we still do a lot of work together. But he gave me my opportunity and he gave me my foot in the door into commercial real estate. That was back in 2006, I think. It's almost 20 years ago, 2006. You'll remember the markets were in a really good place. Everything was great. Things were flying. I've got my sort of first lick in the door, and there was just something about like getting up, putting a suit on, getting on the train. It just turned me on, and
You liked it.
I was so excited to go and work in central London.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Radler.
Okay, so that's the big city and the lights was
correct.
still a turn on.
Yeah, massive turn on for me.
Radler's a nice area, though.
Yeah,
It was a lovely area.
Yeah. Brass monkey.
It was cool.
Did you like that feeling of sort of having like structure? Is that what it is? Did you feel like you were almost in like a movie that you would like get up, suit on, smell good, go out on the train?
Yeah, I suppose so. But it was like I keep saying, it was like that control of my own destiny, right? So I was given a desk with a phone and a computer, and it was like, right, it wasn't like here's loads of instructions, go and service them. It was Richard Susskind Company were not the company that would be employed to go and dispose of retail and leisure opportunities. So we're very much on the acquisition side. And if you're an acquisition agent, like you've got a phone, you've got a computer, you've got to go and create opportunities. And again, we wouldn't be employed by lots of different restaurant chains or leisure chains. It was go and find sites, and if you find us a site, we'll pay you a fee. And quite quickly after I sort of grasped the game and understood what we were doing, the markets went tits up in 2007 or back in 2007, 2008. And I remember it happening. I was 17, 18 years old. I was on a whopping salary of £7,500 a year. And
how much?
£7,500 a year. That was my starting salary. But look, it was nothing. It wasn't about the money at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't go very far. And I remember my mum used to give me £5 a day in the morning to go and buy lunch.
Oh, you couldn't even get a water for that now.
No, but back then you could go into Pret and buy yourself lunch.
Yeah.
And yeah, the markets just went completely tits up. And I remember it being talked about at the time, like this was the biggest and greatest recession we'd ever seen. And we were in this almighty black hole, and God knows how many years of recovery it was going to take. And not that I was earning much commission, but our commissions were cut. I mean, I didn't have much of a salary, but people in the business's salaries were being cut just to sort of get through this period. And at that point, most of my mates sort of went university, or they did A-levels, they went to university, and they were having the time of their lives.
Yeah.
Okay, university, student loans, out every night, not a care in the world. I'm sitting there on my £7,500 a year salary, grafting my nuts off, getting very little results. But I always look back at that period, those 3 years from probably 2008 to sort of 2011 as probably the most valuable of my career. Because again, like looking back, it was a really hard year, but the recovery actually happened quite quickly. So we'll come on to sort of where the market's at now, but it feels like we've been in this recovery period or this low period really from like 2020. It's now 2025 and still really can't see the light at the end of the tunnel from COVID.
Yeah.
But it was a much quicker recovery back then. And in a good market, like everyone can look like a genius. In a bad market is when you sort of separate the men from the boys, and you really learn how to do things to survive in a bad market. You've got to do things differently. You've got to find a way of making things happen. Like if you sit there and wait for the phone to ring, you're going to be out of a job or out of a business quite soon. So that period, I always look back at that period and think that was like my university. So like all my mates were going to get their degrees. That was my education.
Well, you were learning about how to survive.
Correct.
And they were just living, but you were actually learning how to, get out of it.
Yeah.
Life experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's probably one of the best things to ever happen to you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we always say to our team now, like we're going to look back at this period. We employ lots of young people that have never really known a good market, and we always say to them, like, you have your difficult days where it feels like you're never going to do a deal again, but you will look back at this period and you'll be thankful for this period because you're going to learn skills that will stay with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Did anyone benefit from 2008 crash? Like any sector, who would have benefited from it?
I'm sure people do. I mean, you're all good entrepreneurs. Often businesses start in recession periods, and they're the ones that really make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that actually leads quite nicely into sort of the next chapter of my journey. So when I was at Richard Susskind, we had my three directors there. So there was this David Tubian, who is the retail and leisure team, and then Sean Simons, who's my business partner now, Michael Rabin, who's also my partner, and a guy called Ricky Blair.
That's a cool name.
It's a good name. He's a good guy as well. They were my directors. In 2010, they left to set up their own business, which is called Hatton Real Estate. On my sort of level at the previous firm at Susskind, there was a guy called Richard Silver. Richard, on day one, went with Hatton Real Estate with those guys. I was then asked to move over into the office team at Susskind. So I got my first insight, which was always the sort of ambition and dream for me, because Richard Susskind were really strong on offices in the fringe. And it was a much easier market, but I think they had lots of disposal instructions, and offices in that part of town at that moment were doing quite well. So I spent about 6 months in the offices team. And I was really enjoying it. I was like, didn't have directors. I was sort of, I was on some really glamorous instructions for some really great landlords. And we were doing really well, and I was having a lot of fun doing it. The Hatton Real Estate guys were 6-7 months old. They bought a collection of buildings on behalf of Threadneedle. And
What does that mean?
So Threadneedle, a pension fund.
Okay.
And they did an investment transaction representing Threadneedle.
Okay.
I think it was 20 or 25 million pounds. So it paid them quite a nice fee. And for a young business, that was quite a key moment for them. And Sean, who, as I said, was my stepbrother, we've been super close ever since we were really young. We used to meet up a few times a week. He was like, "Can we have a chat?" So we went for a chat on Hatton Garden, where both our offices were on Hatton Garden. We met down a sort of a little alleyway on Hatton Garden. It probably looked really
Dodgy.
really dodgy if people saw what was going on. So anyway, so we've had a chat, and he's like, "Look, we've done this deal. We'd love you to come and join us." And I was like, "You know what? I'm not sure I actually want to join you. Like, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing over here." About 24 hours later, we shook hands, and anyway, I joined Hatton Real Estate. And like what you were saying before about in a recession, it's sort of, entrepreneurial people will set up and make a name for themselves, and that's exactly what happened. So the Hatton ethos and application to what we were doing was, they were sort of 26, 27. I was 21, 22 at that point. And we were using things like Facebook and Twitter in our personal lives, and they were when those sort of platforms were
On the rise,
on the rise, very much on the rise. And they weren't being used in a business capacity. It was very much in a personal capacity. And our industry is incredibly, especially at that point, incredibly old-fashioned. So it was sort of controlled by middle-aged men, and they were very much like, "This is the way we do things, and there's no other way of doing them." And we were young guys using those sort of platforms, and we had a license to push boundaries because of the types of tenants we were dealing with. So the city fringe is dominated by technology companies, media companies, startups, SMEs. It's now got much more grown-up companies, but back then, this was the part of town that all these companies wanted to be in for two really simple reasons. One, you had amazing, really interesting real estate there. So loads of converted warehouses, loads of old industrial buildings that have been converted into really interesting office spaces. But two, and probably more importantly, the cost base was probably half, if not less than that, of what you could get into in the West End and the city. So you had really interesting buildings at really, really low cost base. So your rents were sort of 25, 30, 40 pound a foot. Service charge was like £3-4 a foot. Business rates of 7 or 8. You're probably at least doubling those numbers to go to the West End.
And did you understand all of this at the time, or was it easy to look back on and just be like, "Yeah, this is it"?
No, we knew that. We knew there was a reason as to why it was happening.
Right.
The financial markets had all contracted in the city, and you had this sort of tech and media boom. And all of a sudden, the city fringe was the place to be. And because my directors and partners and we'd all been there for quite a few years, we were sort of the young kids on the block trying to do things differently. So we were the first people that were using Instagram. It was Facebook at the time, Facebook and Twitter. We were the first people that were using video marketing.
Do you have videos? Do you have those videos now?
Yeah.
Are they good?
I mean, if you had one on the screen, I'd probably be watching it through my fingers. I mean, at the time,
you probably
at the time,
genius.
at the time, people thought we could walk on water.
Yeah.
But now, I'd really struggle to watch it.
Do you think you were lucky you were just in the right place in the right time? Because that's where you were, that's where your kind of base and that area boomed, or did you make your own luck and it would have happened anyway?
I'm a huge believer in you create your own luck. I
think you need luck to create your own luck, by the way. Sorry to
I'm sure there was definitely an element of luck to it, but we doubled down on whatever hand we were drawn or whatever hand we were given. And Hatton Real Estate was to stand out from the crowd. We did that purposely. That didn't happen by mistake, and we created a lot of noise doing it.
Yeah.
And we tried to do things differently. And I think people really try to overcomplicate what we do.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to do real estate. Like, if you break it down into its simplest form, you've got buildings, you've got tenants, and you're putting the puzzle together.
You agree with that?
100%.
And
I've got to say, I worked in the industry for not so long.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it. I didn't understand.
You probably get it more now than you did then.
Huh?
You probably get it a lot more now than you
did then. Oh yeah. I knew how to log on.
Just about.
Yeah, just about. Fingerprint. I don't know. I think that's easy for you to say. You're obviously very good at what you do, but it's not that easy.
I'm not saying it's easy, but what I'm saying is people do try and overcomplicate what we do.
Right.
I guess putting the puzzle together is complicated at times.
It's
100%.
fun, though.
Yeah, we find it fun. Sometimes we just sit and role play certain deals. Even with Joe and it's good fun.
Yeah. No, exactly. Look,
but you say it's simple, but then on the other hand, you talk about doing it differently. So was some of that doing it differently just out, we've got to be different from the other people, or did you think, no, this is the right way?
I think in a really crowded marketplace, you have to stand out. Okay, and you've got to stand out for the right reasons, but you've got to be able to put your head above the parapet and say, like, this is who we are, this is what we offer, and this is the service we can provide you, and this is how we can do it differently from our competition.
But what were you doing differently from the people around?
Well, so a lot of it comes back to marketing and branding. So the videos that I referenced, we would literally stand in the space and be like, hi, I'm Elliot from Hatton Real Estate. Today we're standing at 12 to 16 Laystall Street. The floor's 4,000 square foot. We've got lights, we've got air conditioning, we've got a raised floor. The rent's £50 a foot. You're a 5-minute walk to Farringdon Station.
So basically what everyone does now, but you were doing it 15 years ago.
We started doing those videos, I think, earlier than most. I don't remember other people doing it at that point, but we were creating noise around them. Like, people would love the videos, and people would share the videos, and people would talk about the videos. And by doing that, you're creating more eyeballs on the content.
Yeah.
And the formula is, like, the more eyeballs you get on your content and your marketing collateral, you'd like to think that's going to lead to more people inquiring about the space, and therefore you're getting more eyeballs on your client space. That's your job.
Yeah.
Like, our job is not just simply to sell and lease real estate. Like, we're marketers.
Yeah.
And you're employed to market that space to the best of your ability for your clients to ultimately find them a tenant or find them a buyer.
Yeah.
And if you can find different tactics to your competition, then you'd like to think that's going to be a recipe for success.
Were you the driving force in that sort of new techie idea, or was it complemented by your stepbrother? Did you meet? Yeah.
My business partner, Michael, he was very much the sort of driving force behind that.
Yeah.
He's great at that stuff, and I'm going to give him the credit for it.
You're going to give him the credit.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
On the record.
When you worked at Terry Mack, was there anyone like that? Sort of.
No.
Or was it old school?
It was old school, low profile.
You didn't even have phones when you worked at Terry.
We did have Blackberries.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got my first Blackberry at Terrace. Yeah.
So was it BlackBerry time, or was it sort of new iPhone 4 sort of times?
I remember when I got my BlackBerry, and it was like I'd won the lottery. I remember my boss at the time, this was at Suskin, I think it was after I did my first or second deal, he bought me a BlackBerry, and I was like a kid at Christmas. I was so excited.
Yeah. So
I still miss the BlackBerry, actually.
Really? It looks.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Loved it. And you could
amazing.
feel the buttons, couldn't you? You could type quicker.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Could you?
Yeah.
It's like
Did you even have one? Or did you go
yeah, I did have one. Didn't know how to use it really. So if it was going so well at Hatton's, how and when did Compton come along?
So the markets from that period, sort of, it was just like an upward trajectory, and that wasn't just for us. That was for the entire market. So like I referenced before, the recovery from the recession actually happened quite quickly. Our part of town became over time very much a core office district in London. So it wasn't just seen as like an alternative or a place to go if you're just a tech or media firm. It became a core district in the London landscape, and we were making lots of noise of what we were doing, and we had approaches from 2 or 3 of the big players, like the CBREs and Cushmans and those sort of guys, in 2013. And we sort of landed at a position that we didn't feel it was the right time to sell the business, because we had lots more to do, and we felt that we were sort of too early in our journey to. We felt like things were sort of going our way. We were onto something, and we wanted to keep building on the success that we'd had. We decided against that, and Ricky Blair, who I mentioned, Ricky, after that moment, he put together a business plan about how we were going to grow the business over a 2-year period, introducing different service lines.
How many people employed then?
There was the 5 of us.
Okay.
So it was Sean, Michael, and Ricky, myself, and Richard Silver. And then we employed a PA, a girl called Lauren Bray, who's still with us.
Wow.
Yeah. And at that point, so there was sort of 6 or 7 of us. So it was still like super niche. It was like we were all involved in everything. It was very much like a roll your sleeves up mentality.
So it sounds like you wrote every email. You know, you're the one searching the inbox. You're doing the admin, everything.
Yeah, and I remember when there was a huge debate around employing a PA. It was like, well, what do we need a PA for? Like, we can do our own invoices and we can book our own meetings. But
I've had that debate.
So we had that debate, and we look back and we're like, I couldn't survive without her now. You know, we've actually got 2 PAs now, but that's just sort of
2 PAs.
There's 30 of us now, so she's got to work today.
Yeah, both women.
Both women. Yeah. So Ricky sort of put together this business plan about how we were going to hit certain milestones and do certain things to get our revenue and our profit levels to a certain place by a certain point, which we'd like to think would lead to a more successful sale. And that did happen. And Colliers came knocking. In 2015, we agreed to deal with them.
And what are they actually buying? Are they buying your database?
They bought the entire business, the people, the client base, the
portfolio.
Yeah, everything that goes with it. And about 18 months before that, myself and Richard Silver were made equity partners at the business, which was a huge milestone for me personally. So, and I always look back at that period and like, it was a life-changing moment for me.
What does your dad say after you left the business? Is he proud of you now?
Incredibly proud. It wasn't right for either of us. So we sold the business to Colliers in 2015. It was like the beginning of 20. Actually, the deal signed on my birthday. My birthday's the 6th of January.
Ooh,
so 2016, 6th of January, we were Colliers, and they were definitely the right partner for us. We had all throughout the entire negotiation, they sort of said, "Look, we're buying you guys because you know what you're doing, and we're going to let you get on with it. We're not going to clip your wings." And we were just listening, and after meetings we're like, there's no way they're going to be true to this. But to be fair to them, they were absolutely good as gold. We had an amazing 5 years with them. They really did let us get on with it. They were buying us because we were doing something slightly differently. We also had a market share in a part of town which they didn't understand. They didn't know. They didn't know the clients. They didn't understand the tenant base. And they learned a lot from us, and we learned a hell of a lot from them as well. And I think when you work at a niche company, or for me personally anyway, I'd always been in a niche, and I'd always looked at these firms like the CBREs, the Cushmans, the JLLs, and they're incredibly glamorous businesses they're beasts. The way in which they operate, the teams they have, the resource they have, the things they're capable of doing. And I always looked to them and I was like, I'd just love to work for one of these businesses, to know how they operate and how they do things. But I suppose when you work for a niche, you sort of concede that's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But we did. Like we worked for Colliers, and in the negotiation, we were desperate to keep our name. We wanted to keep Hatton Real Estate, and we were also desperate to keep our office because we worked in the city fringe. It wouldn't work us working out of the city office or the West End office, so we kept our office on Old Street. We ended up keeping the office, but not the name.
Yeah.
Did they ask you to like report every week? Did you have to go to West End meetings?
No. So Colliers is an amazing business. There's you've got at the time it was Tony Harrell who was the CEO. Under that, you literally have directors. So it wasn't Tony, this one. It wasn't layers and layers. It was Tony Harrell was the CEO, and then each team or department, like you've got department heads.
Okay.
There was department head meetings once a month or once a quarter.
Okay.
But Tony was a great guy who was very good to us, and we enjoyed our time there. But working corporate and working niche are two very different things. So when you're at a niche business, as you know, you're the FD, you're the HR, you're the marketing. Like you deal with everything. But when you're at a corporate, you've got a finance department, you've got an HR department, you've got a marketing department, you've got an investment department, you've got a leasing department. There's people to do everything. So it's very much like this is what you're here to do. And if you step into that lane, you're in someone else's lane. And I suppose that's the part of it that I didn't love.
Okay, so there were conflicts, even though they were great.
Yeah, there was definitely conflicts, and there was parts of it that personally speaking, I didn't love.
Yeah.
But there was lots that we did enjoy, and we had there's lots of things that we learned from them that we've taken on with us, and that's helped us grow our business. And I don't think the Compton that you see today would be the same Compton if we didn't have the experience that we had with Colliers.
And then when did you, what's Compton? What's the name about?
So Compton, there's no like wonderful, amazing story with the name.
Quite like the name.
Yeah, I like it as well.
It's very like black and white, I feel.
Compton. So when we left Colliers, we took our entire team and client base with us.
What was the trigger?
The trigger of us leaving.
Yeah.
We
got to be careful.
No, there's nothing to be careful about. We COVID came along in 2020, and as I'm sure you remember, it completely just knocked the market to pieces. And a bit like when Hatton Real Estate was formed out of the global financial crisis, because that was seen as an opportunity. I suppose the guys were sort of more pushed into that decision, whereas Colliers we could have stayed at forever. But for us, we saw it as an opportunity, and brave or stupid, I'm still not sure. We thought the right time to set up our agency, Compton, was April 2021.
Was it just you five that left, or did you bring anyone?
No, so we as I said, we took the entire team with us. There was 14 of us on day one, and
so the 14 were all employed through the Colliers system.
Yes,
as well.
There's probably I would say 8 or 9 of those people were Hatton Real Estate.
Yeah, we
then employed a number of people whilst we were at Colliers. So the Colliers team, the Colliers City Fringe team, grew to about 22 or 23 people. And then through COVID, a couple of people left, sadly. Ricky Blair moved to the States. He always had a dream of going to the States and doing some business out there.
Ricky Blair belongs in the States.
Yeah, in LA.
Yeah.
So it was always meant to be.
Yeah.
Richard Silver, we worked together for 10 years. He's a great friend of mine. He's now doing sort of development and investment stuff by himself. Again, that was always one of his dreams and ambitions. So it was sort of myself, Sean and Mike. We took the team with us. There was 14 on day one, and there's now 31 of us at Compton.
Wow.
But the name was just this moment where we wanted a name that, so as I said, we took our client base with us as well. So we had, on day one of Compton, we had lots of schemes that we were working on, and we wanted a team that could sound grown up in the London market, that didn't sound like a startup. There is a road name in Clerkenwell called Compton Street. That's not the reason behind it. It just felt like, you know, when something just sticks, you say it and you're like, that's the one. And it was just that sort of moment.
Straight out of Compton.
Had that a few times. Yeah, had that a few times.
It's a crazy time to start an office agency.
Yeah.
Just after COVID, when loads of people started to work from home and stuff.
Yeah.
Done pretty well out of it.
Yeah.
Did that help the departure though? They were nervous about the market as well, so the handcuffs were slightly looser.
I think our timing was fortuitous. Yeah. If you can think of setting up a property agency in COVID as fortuitous, but I think the timing was beneficial to us.
Yeah.
You've got to get Dr. Dre in the office at some point. That'd be unbelievable.
Maybe one day.
You could make up some bullshit that you just name the company after him because you love the film so much.
Do that. Maybe I'll come down for it.
Maybe. Would I be invited?
It's your idea, so you'd have to be.
Fair enough. And what did you... So when you gave birth to Compton, did you say to yourself, we're going to do the exact same thing again that you did prior? Or what was the switch up there?
Yeah, so firstly, if we look at market conditions then, I mean, myself, Sean and Mike were coming into the Collier's office. We were the only 3 people in the office. I could walk from Farringdon Station to our office on Old Street, not see one person. Not see a car, not see a bicycle. It was like a ghost town.
Yeah.
Okay. And the supply was just growing on a daily basis. So every tenant that had a break in their lease was breaking their lease. Every tenant that was in a serviced office was tearing up their lease. But you also, it compounded the issue. People were building things that were completing. So you had this amalgamation of space coming to the market like we'd never seen before. And all the success that we had experienced with Hatton Real Estate, we just wanted to double down on that. So the whole market was going in that direction. We were like, right, we're going to go that way, because we knew that to get the success we wanted, to market the property or the real estate that we were mandated to market, we had to stand down. We had to stand out for the right reasons. And when we left Colliers and we'd agreed to leave them, we had a 6-week period to set up Compton. So 6 weeks prior to the 1st of April 2021, we were still at still at Colliers. We were still running the Colliers business. And I always look back at that period, that 6-week period, as probably the craziest, busiest, but fun in a strange sort of way period of my life, because we were building this business. We were up crack of dawn, Colliers during the day, up to like midnight, setting up bank accounts, looking for an office, talking about fit out, websites, design, social media. There was so much that went into it in that period, but it was hugely rewarding when we launched. I don't know if you saw the launch film we did.
I think I did. Is it when it's like and then like you all introduced yourself?
Yeah,
correct. I think I remember seeing that when I worked.
So my business partner Sean jumped into a swimming pool. I was running around a rooftop.
Don't remember that.
That was, it was just a moment that came to us, and we were like, right, if we're gonna launch and we're gonna do things the way we want to do things, we've got to arrive and truly arrive on the scene in Compton style. And we stuck our flag in the sand and we were like, we're here.
Did everyone love it, or was it a mixed reaction?
I was saying to Alex before, we won't hear about the people that didn't love it. We got a huge amount of positive feedback on that video. But to do what we do and to do what you do, if you're going to put yourself out there, and really shout about what you do and let people know who you are in a slightly different way, and slightly breaking the norm, you're going to have your haters. But your haters are going to be the people that are following you the most. So they're also your biggest fans, but you're probably never going to hear from them.
Can you shout out a hater that you know?
I don't know. I don't know who they are. Like I said, you don't know who they are, but they're the people that are following you the most.
Yeah.
And they're probably the people that are afraid to do it. So.
Oh yeah.
But that was a moment for us that we were really proud of, that launch film. I actually remember bumping it in that 6-week period.
Isn't that 6-week period when the COVID rules were sort of lifted? I remember April 2021 being I remember being with my friends then.
I think they might have been lifting.
Yeah.
But I remember we were looking back at photos the other day. Like we'd set up Compton. I was doing viewings in surgical gloves.
Oh God.
And a face mask on, and we all thought that was the norm. Like that's just how we had to do viewings. It was a wild time, like really, really crazy time.
It's mad when you look back at what COVID was like that.
Yeah.
It's mad how accepting we were that that's what life was going to be like. Yeah. That's just not going outside.
So
for years.
And no one knew how quickly it was going to blow over.
Yeah.
And you've got to remember, people were not working from the office at that point. And I remember during that lockdown period, I would speaking to my friends. I've got friends that live in the States, and they were calling me up like, "What are you going to do for work? You're going to have to find a new job. Like the office is dead." And I mean, we hugely doubled down on it, and there was not even a moment of thought between myself, Sean, and Mike that people were not going to use offices again. And like I said before, people thought we were really brave. Like, I didn't feel like a brave move. It was like, this is what we do, and we're in the greatest city in the world, and the office is the backbone of people's businesses. Like, we are long on the office. My business partner Sean is hugely vocal about not working from home, but it's sort of something we all conceive to.
Yeah. It's weird because we've had a few, I can't remember exactly, but we've had a few people that said that during COVID they just sodded the rules and they went in as well. So it must have been, you must have just given a couple nods to some other property people in the city that you saw, surely.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think there was lots of people like us that were going to the office. So I had, my son was born in January 2020. So 6 weeks after he was born, we were in lockdown. My daughter was born in November 2021. So 5 or 6 months after we set up Compton, my daughter was born. So working from home is a whole debate and a whole another conversation for another time. But
it sucks.
There's certainly not. Well, it sucks for me.
My kids won't take a job unless they can work from home.
Oh, what?
That's laziness, isn't it? People want to work from home so they can get up a minute before their alarm goes off and just enjoy it. I don't know.
It's certainly not a one size fits all. Like, we know that. Okay, the 18-year-old or 21-year-old graduate wants to work at home. Like, I don't agree with that. Like, when you're 2021, you should be. You've got no excuse to not be the first person in the office, last one to leave, in front of your directors or your boss's face, like showing them what you're capable of.
How do you learn? How do you grow as a human being?
Correct.
Yeah.
I think we're the last generation that isn't, like, no disrespect. What?
Go on, say what you was going to say.
No, they're 23 and 29.
Oh, then interesting. I thought you meant like your little ones.
No, well, they don't work.
That's true.
A year and a half.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think there's so many reasons why people should be in the office, and we prove the point on almost like a daily basis. So it was only a few days ago that I was sitting next to my colleague Josh. Okay, he gets a call from an agent. They're looking for 3,000 square foot in Farringdon. I hear him on the phone. I'm like, Josh, stop a sec. What are you talking about? He said, I'm on the phone to an agent from Lambert Smith Hampton. They're looking for 3,000 square foot. I'd say, I've just been with the client. We've got 3,000 square foot coming back at this building. He passed the phone over to me. I had a chat with him. We booked a viewing. Bang. That doesn't happen if people are working from home.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen just in the world of property. That happens in every office. There's these little moments of these little nuggets of information sharing. You're overhearing what's happening there.
Yeah.
Collaboration, like all the buzzwords that we hear all day long talk about. It happens.
It fertilizes a business.
Completely.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is building a relationship with your colleagues. You can't do that if you're all at home.
Correct.
Yeah, they do stuff like you come in one day a week or one day a month. They have a social thing.
Oh, but
yeah, I know. Like my daughter's, I've got to go in. Yeah.
What? Don't get it.
It's funny. I say my views are old school. I don't feel old enough, and I've been doing it long enough to say that. But I do think I'm old school. I mean, we work in the office 5 days a week. I genuinely believe that our team love working in the office. We've got an amazing culture. We wouldn't have that culture if we didn't all work in the office together. And the success that we've created and the number of deals that you referenced earlier, like, we wouldn't be able to do that business if people work from home.
Do you go big on like the Christmas parties and the summer parties, the bonding experience?
Yeah, we really do. We our ethos is we work hard, but we also have a lot of fun.
I feel like it's two families. I have the one in the office and then the one at home.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
culture is so important. The majority of people that work from home, I feel like the culture in their office is so boring. That's probably the reason why I don't want to go in.
Yeah,
We actually,
I'm sure it's a contributing
You
factor.
look forward to coming in and
Yeah.
chatting. And
Like we genuinely, like, I don't cartwheel out of bed in the morning, but I love the people I work with. Like truly love the people I work with, and they all hang out on the weekends with each other. I rarely get invited, but
You're the old one.
but they do. Like there's a group of people there that you've got 30 people that didn't know each other
Yeah.
before they worked for Compton, and I truly believe there's like lifelong friendships.
Yeah.
that
Any
have
romance?
been created? No romance, sadly. Maybe one day there'll be a Compton.
There's been a few romance in my office. Luckily, I'm the HR department, Ben.
No, let's expand.
don't need to expand.
We can't. What you got 30. What's the male female sort of percentage like?
I think we're probably about 60-40 male.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you think it's still a male dominant industry?
Yeah, I would say it is still, but I think we see much more females in the industry, which I think is a great thing.
We talk about eye candy.
Yeah.
You fancy yourself a little bit, don't you? After what you said about Tom Schweier.
I was going to say, no, I'm pleased I'm here actually
Yeah.
to set the record straight. I think it was your first podcast that came out.
Yeah, it was. First guest was Tom Schweier.
Schweier, the best looking agent in London.
What, you don't think he is? You think you are? You're a good looking man.
I'm only joking.
I was thinking that.
You look a bit like
And
Alex
Graham
McAllister.
Potter.
Graham.
That's that.
No.
No, that is out.
Sorry. No, your face isn't as long, but
Alex
yes.
McAllister.
Yeah, and what's his name? Judd Trump, the snooker player.
My colleague Richard Silver, our old colleague Richard Silver, always used to say I look like Mark Albrighton.
Oh.
Yeah, I see that.
Which I wasn't happy about.
Let me have a look at
I'm only joking. Tom's a mate of mine, and
Is
he looks after me.
But he's a big fella as well, and a bit of an Adonis.
He is.
Yeah.
Not Judd
He
Trump.
is.
I have to
I'm
say, you're a good looking guy, but Tom Schweier, do you know what it is? He's got
Matt
this.
loves Tom. You
Do you know what it is? He's so big. He's got this aura. I'm not saying you don't have aura, because you do have a nice aura, but he's got like he'll turn a straight man gay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He is.
When Tom sees me, he picks me up and carries me for about 5 meters and then puts me down. All right, how you doing?
And then Al puts a pillow over.
Okay, so I'll put you second. I'll say.
Finish.
I don't know. Ginger is a bit of an issue though with Tom.
I mean,
No, but he
I wasn't going
rocked
to
it.
say, but
Yeah.
please you've referenced.
I'll go Tom number 1, you number 2, and I'll probably go Michael Kingsley number 3.
Okay.
You know Michael
So good.
Kingsley?
Yeah, I know, Mike.
Yeah. Simply because he's had a massive glow up. So we'll put him first.
It's a strong podium, that.
So what are you doing differently? That LinkedIn post that I read out is just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why are Compton doing that and seemingly no one else are?
Well, look, firstly, we're very fortunate that we deal with some amazing real estate. We're mandated on some really special buildings in our part of town. So the City Fringe is our back garden, okay? That didn't happen overnight. That has been a 20-year mission. So whether that's been Hatton Real Estate, Colliers, Compton, like we have been solely focused on the City Fringe. So we're trusted in that part of town. We have incredible links into both the agency community and also the occupier community. And we've got a big team, so we've got to do big business.
Do you ever cross over?
No, not really.
We are actually
We got
doing some business
yeah.
together
Yeah.
at the moment.
And actually, looks like you might have found the occupier.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Very impressed. Yeah. Slightly annoyed with my competitive side, but very impressed.
Why is that a bad thing?
No, it's a good thing, but we are the F1 specialists, and
right.
they found someone who could be the pie.
Oh my, they've mugged you right. Oh my God.
It's a team. It's a team game.
Yeah.
Team
What
game.
what sort of
You didn't get into the Islington Gazette, though, front page advertising the building.
Ooh, and Forbes.
Yeah. But,
And I'd like to see a Compton paddle tournament
Yeah.
every now and again.
That would be good.
yeah.
I'm a big paddle fan.
You haven't got Sophie Crumley to sort it all out though. Yeah. What's the future looking like for Compton? How do you get better than that?
The future is, so if we just go back to the beginning quickly, so when we launched the business, there was 14 people. We had a landlord disposal team. We were doing a small amount of occupier rep, so tenant representation, and a small amount of serviced office brokerage. We had an investment team as well. The team has doubled in terms of headcount, so there's now 30 people. When we set up Compton, we sort of said, right, over the next 2 years, let's establish ourselves. Let's stick our flag in the sand. Let's create a real good reputation for ourselves as, again, like the market leaders in the city fringe. It's funny because when we sold Compton, we felt like we had to prove ourselves again at Collier's. And then when we went again to Compton, again, it felt like that process, right? We've got to prove ourselves again. And we were trying different things. We were behaving in a different way. We were really strong on social media as soon as we started. And I know that everyone's doing it now, but 5 years ago, people weren't doing it the way in which it's being applied today. And we said, let's get to 2 years and see where we're at. And the business, fortunately, the first couple of years were great. We did employ some people because COVID was, we were sort of coming out the back end of the pandemic. The markets were opening up. People were coming back to the office very slowly, but that allowed us to go and employ some more people and grow the business. We got to 2 years and Liz Truss did her absolute best to
fuck it up.
Nicely put.
She gets no positive feedback.
She gets mentioned in every other pod.
Yeah, she was here for 10 minutes. What's everyone's beef with her?
Mate, just, yeah.
So she...
Interest rates went up. Deal with it.
She had a huge impact on the market. And look, the natural progression for an agency, okay, if you say, how does an agency business grow? Especially a single branch agency, which is what we are. The natural progression is, right, you say, you've done the city fringe, go to Southwark, go to the city, go to the West End, open different branches in different geographical locations. And that's always something that's been on the card for us. But we got to this 2 year point and we're like, the markets, again, like how the hell after 2 years of coming out of COVID, the markets are like in free fall again. We don't feel that it's the right time for us to go and stick our flag in the sand in a different district geographically. So
30 people is a lot of people for one sector, one area.
Yeah. So let me come on to how we got there. So so instead of going to different areas, we were like, right, let's think about different service lines that we can provide that will give our clients a better level of service, and allow us to provide a more seamless offering to our clients. So we launched. So firstly, we brought in a guy called Daniel Howard, who's been in the game for sort of over 20 years. He's the OG of flex and tenant representation. So he came in to head up our occupier services team, but really huge level of experience. And Dan's now got a team of 7 people.
Where'd you grab him from?
He was working at, they're called Office Freedom now.
Okay.
He'd left. He was like in the garden and he was a friend of ours. And for years we'd sort of flirted with each other and it never felt like the right moment for him or for us. And when we were Compton, it was something we talked about quite early on, but timing had to align. He joined us and he's built a team of 7 people that focus on tenants on their journey. So whether you're an occupier looking for a space or a tenant going into serviced office, he's the guy to help you. And
is there any conflict there where you may be letting a space and then...
Quite often we act on both sides. So I'm representing a landlord, one of Dan or one of Dan's team is representing the tenant. And yeah, I suppose there is a conflict, but it's all
handled the right way, facilitates the deal, I imagine.
The right way. Our job is to facilitate transactions, and we always offer tenants and landlords. 9 times out of 10, there's joint agents on these buildings. So we'll say, if you want, we'll pass it over to the joint agent. But I genuinely think it's in both parties' interest to have both teams acting obviously professionally, and acting in the right way.
So you're like a one-stop solution rather than expanding outwards. You've gone inwards and said, no, we're going to give everything.
Yeah. So that was sort of the first stage. The investment team has grown as well. So there was another couple of people joined that team.
Milton.
Legend. Milton is a real true legend.
I met him at a wedding. He loves Arsenal.
He does love Arsenal.
Yeah. And he's converting to Judaism.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to call him Milton Cohen.
And then the next thing for us was, so we are passionate about marketing. Like we always have been. And as I said before, we recognise that our job is not just to sell and lease real estate. We're here to market, and our product is our buildings. And we, after 2 years of business, we employed a head of marketing, a girl called Holly, who came from the Modern House, who sort of, the Modern House, we think are an incredible brand, and their application, the way they market their products and apply themselves is incredible. So Holly came from there, and we liked that she didn't come from a commercial property background. She came from a residential background. And she's been a breath of fresh air for us. One of the things we're long on is consumer marketing, talking to consumers. So one thing we're amazing at, our industry is amazing at, is talking to each other. Okay, we almost like talk in a different language. We talk about Cat A plus this and per square foot that, and all this jargon that if you say to your average man in the street, they look at you like you're talking a different language. So we realised we were all really good at that, but the people we need to talk to are the people that are sitting at the desks of these buildings. Okay, so let's break it down. Let's talk to consumers. Like with the property, but talking to property folk is really simple, but we need to talk to consumers, and that's been a goal and ambition, and something we feel like we've achieved. So Holly has been instrumental in sort of helping us and guiding us on doing that.
No love for Ruby?
Ruby as well.
Yeah,
Ruby's a legend in the making.
Yeah. She looks clever.
She is.
Yeah,
she's quick story on Ruby. When we interviewed Ruby, she was 21 when we interviewed her, and she came, I feel with interviews, within a few minutes, like you know if you're onto a winner or not. And she came in and she completely held herself. She was the most impressive interview I think we've ever held, especially for a 21-year-old. And I told her that when she joined, and she's lived up to all the expectation. So Holly was the spearhead of Compton Studio, which is our own in-house creative studio. So instead of outsourcing so if a client comes to you, we're going to market or sell this building. We used to go to 3 or 4 different creative agencies to go and get quotes. We'd go back to the client, Mr. Client, here's 3 quotes. Which one would you like to go with? Let's go with number 2, go back to them. And we were like the conduit between the marketing agency and the client. We would still write the whole brochure. We would still direct.
So what does the creative agency do? Sorry,
we're now doing all the brochures, marketing and websites and hoardings and HTML.
So
we're doing that all in-house. And we're the eyes and ears on the ground. We know what the consumers are buying. We know what they want. We know what clients want. So we can offer the same service or a better service quicker. Our speed to market is quicker. Instead of taking 2 days to go back to each other.
No fear. I mean, 30 people for me scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Recruitment and employing lots of people.
Yeah.
Egos.
Oh my God. The egos and the politics of it all, which I hate.
Yeah.
So I actually try and outsource these things to people I trust, who I can talk to like I'm talking to you, very, very real.
Yeah.
But I try and outsource it to keep my bottom line low as possible, so the business is clean and the overheads aren't high. But it sounds like you're that confident you've brought them in, and your passion for how much it's a family is very impressive.
Yeah. And I also think you've got to back your people.
Yeah.
Like we've brought in some people that are incredibly good at what they do, and you've got to give them the platform to go and
But you're ambitious. Yeah? You want the best for your people.
Yeah.
But with that ambition, with the people that you're paying a salary to, what do you do when they've been with you 3 years, proved they're great, and they're coming in saying, I want a salary rise?
Yeah.
But you've got your own overhead costs. What do you do there?
So one of the reasons we keep growing the business and we keep introducing different service lines is because we feel like we've got a brand that has the ability to do more and support more clients and to introduce different service lines. We've also got a team of really, it's not only me and my partners and that are really ambitious. The people we employ are super ambitious and entrepreneurial, and we could stop here and be like, do you know what, we've built a really nice business and we're really proud of what we've done and we'll make a nice living from it. But we'll lose people quite quickly because we have to give them the ability to grow in the business, get more responsibility, the ability to earn more money. and you can only do that through growth.
Yeah.
So
at some point you are going to have to go and put your flag in another sector, surely.
So we did Compton Studio. We launched Compton Concierge, which is a tenant plugin for management.
Yeah.
We launched a business rates consultancy a few months ago. But the ambition is definitely to go to another district. Compton was a brand that we thought up that was not just a city fringe offering. It's in years to come, we'd like it to be a London offering. And we've got plans and goals as to how we introduce that.
I love your Meet the Team page. It's so cool. It's so clean. I was thinking, if I give you random people from this, would you be able to compare them to a footballer in terms of the way they work? So let me hit you with a Josh Perlmutter.
Josh Perlmutter. I've got to get this right, or I'm going to get grilling when I get back. Josh Perlmutter is he's just solid day in, day out. He's been around the block. He's won the Premier League a few times.
James Milner.
Yeah, I think he'd take that, James Milner.
James Milner. I don't think we got onto the future of Compton. How are you going to do better than what you're doing now? Can you do better than what you're doing now?
Always do better. That's what we always believe. There's all you can. Yeah. The second you start saying, "Oh, we've done our best," I think it's a dangerous place to be.
What about you in terms of the business being a principal?
Yeah.
Are you doing that? Do you want to go there?
We're not doing that. I think there is a conflict doing that. So no, it's not something we're looking at, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I think agency has. It's funny. Sean and I always talk about this in that moment from sort of 2015 to maybe 2014 to 2019. There was some clients of ours that made obscene amounts of money. Like the market was doing that. Debt costs were virtually nothing. So people made some incredible. There were some amazing deals that our clients did, and you got to be brave to do these deals. Like I'm not saying no one just got lucky. You don't make huge amounts of money just by being lucky, but they were prepared to back these deals and do these deals and executed them incredibly. And I would always look at them in awe. Like we've earned some great fees from those deals, but you've made like huge sums of money. And I'd look at them and, like I said, I was like in awe of what they were doing and what they were capable of doing. But then I look at the markets now and I'm like, I would absolutely hate to be doing what some of these people are having to do now, because the markets are so difficult and the debt costs are so high, construction costs have gone through the roof, values have plummeted. It's a difficult place to be.
Are they ever going to go down?
When you're an agency, like look, we make money on activity, so we are facilitators of transactions. We always say that to our team, like you're here to facilitate a transaction, and you're obviously there to do the best job possible for your client. But the deal not happening is not doing a good job for anyone. So we're here to make deals happen, and we make money for doing those deals. So in short, no, being a principal isn't something we're looking at. But we have, so the future for Compton is we're going to keep growing the business. We will be looking at different geographical locations, and we will keep on bolting service lines on that we feel that will help our clients on their journey.
When we were here, we talked about Tom.
Mm-hmm.
He came here and he got on his soapbox about farming. Have you got anything that you want to hill you want to die on, something that you want to put out there, a bugbear?
Farming, definitely not.
We were the same when Tom started talking about it.
Yeah, Tom made.
But it was actually quite interesting by him, wasn't it? Yeah. It was very good. Yeah.
Yeah. Are Arsenal going to win the league this year?
Yeah.
I don't want this to come across as like, people say Arsenal fans, they're always like, oh, this is going to be our year. I truly believe this is going to be our year.
You said the same thing in the car.
I think we say it every year, but for some
but-
reason,
It feels right. It does.
I'm not one of those Arsenal fans that like on the first game of the season, it's like
He
this is
is.
going to be our season.
You,
I've got mates like that. We've all got mates like that.
he is that.
But
Mate.
I'm not that guy. I think I'm quite grounded, measured with football.
yeah.
So after 5 games, Liverpool won the league. And that's the pundits, right? Liverpool won the league. If Arsenal don't beat, who were we playing that weekend?
City was a City at home.
No, it was
Liverpool away.
The next game after that was we came back from the break and we played Forest.
I can't remember. But anyway, it was the 6th game of the season.
Forest,
It was like
right.
if Liverpool win, they go 8 points clear
Yeah,
of
yeah.
us. And if we lose, anyway, they lost, we won.
It was the weekend they played Palace.
Yeah, we beat Newcastle.
Yes, correct. It was Newcastle. We beat Newcastle. They lost to Palace. And even before that, I was like, Liverpool can't keep winning by a VAR penalty or a last-minute goal playing crap. Like, your luck runs out at some point. Like, we started last season like that. And we were just hoping we got better and it never really clicked. But I do have a funny feeling this is our season.
Yeah.
I think we all do. Even Al does. Al wants us to win the league. We won't tell
Difficult.
Joe.
Yeah.
If it isn't this year, I don't think we'll ever win it.
I think you're right. But it's going to happen. Been invited to the Diamond Club on Tuesday night, which I'm very
Ooh.
excited about.
What's that, Atletico?
Yeah,
The Diamond Club.
yeah,
Now that is somewhere I've not been.
really.
Who
Even a man of your stature,
I
I
don't
Maybe
know
get
where-
home tickets.
thought they'd roll out the red carpet for you there.
Nah, Jewish. That's unbelievable. Diamond Club will be nice. Apparently the food in there.
Yeah, it should be good.
Nice.
Raymond Blanc.
Raymond Blanc. Is
Yeah.
that wine?
No, that's it. He's the chef.
Oh,
Like a celebrity chef. Maybe you shouldn't go.
I'm banned. Okay, enjoy. Is that Atletico, yeah?
Yeah,
Enjoy that.
looking forward to it.
Give me 2 nominations for people that you'd like to see come and sit in that chair for a couple of hours.
I'm going to say Danny Cohen from Tuatara and Paul Gold of Contour.
Ooh. Danny Cohen and Paul Gold.
2 interesting characters for you.
You've both been nominated.
They're probably the only 2 people I know that are smaller than me.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm.
Who's taller are you two? That's interesting.
We'll do a face-off.
Yeah.
Can we? I've had the idea to do a property boxing event.
Yeah.
I've heard it's been done before, but it couldn't have been that good because I've not seen any footage.
Mhm.
Would you be the driving force for me to make that happen?
Do you know what? I actually did a white collar boxing fight quite a few years ago before I had kids. I won, touch wood. I actually coincidentally fought against someone who was in property.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many rounds?
3 rounds of 2 minutes.
Was it KO or stoppage?
It actually was a KO.
You KO'd?
I swear to you. Yeah.
You knocked him out?
Definitely
Yeah.
gear on.
Yeah.
Oh, my word. Footage?
There is some footage, yeah.
I'm going to need to see that. Yeah.
But I just love sport. So football, I run any sporting event you'll get me at. Whether like competing, I enjoy competing more than watching, but I enjoy watching. I wouldn't say like I'm a boxer, far from it.
Yeah.
But it was run by a friend of mine, a guy called Elliott Stern. It was all for charity. And I turned up like a big shot, like I've run a marathon, I've done this and I've done that. And he was like, look, people think they're fit before they've got into a boxing ring.
Oh, God.
And I was like, I'm fit, don't worry. Anyway, I swear to you, after about 30 seconds of being in the ring, I could, like, I'm
Throw up.
on the verge of puking, like, just finished.
Because there's so many
3 rounds of
different-
2 minutes actually sounds like nothing.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
you try getting in there, like, just throwing your punches is hard enough, but then getting hit in the face as well.
It's nervous energy.
It's like the adrenaline, the nervous energy, and then you do it in a room with 500 people, and it's like all you're thinking is like, I just can't lose. Like
Yeah.
all that matters is I just cannot lose this.
And you knocked him out.
I did knock him out. But the point of the story was, I swore to my wife and my mum that I would never do it again
Oh, well, we can
because that was like
commentate.
it was like the worst 6 minutes of their lives.
We can commentate. And we can watch them two go at it.
You know, I think it'd be in different weight classes.
And lastly, I know you don't need any free promo because you're pretty good at what you do, but maybe just send a message to the viewers as to why Compton are the best on the block.
The best on the block. We do things differently. We are the market leaders in the city fringe. We've got an incredibly strong track record. So if you've got a building there or a tenant that would like a building there, we'd love to talk to you.
Elliot, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me on, guys.
Thank you all for watching. God bless.